My good friend Sertug AKA the Whiskey Enthusiast has challenged me to a whiskey taste-off. Let's see if I can live up to the challenge. So we decided to see what whiskies we have that are similar in one another's whiskey collections and come up with tasting and aroma notes for those whiskies, exchange those notes, and then see if one another can pair the correct whiskey with the correct flavor notes.
What did he just say?
So this one's going to be interesting, a little bit different, lots of fun, and I hope that I can beat Sertug because I don't like to lose. So we're gonna have a bit of fun with this. I've got the 4 whiskeys out of my cabinet. I've got some colored Glencairn glasses as well. And we are going to pour them, nose them, taste them, and see if I can pair the flavors that I'm experiencing with Sertug's notes. The whiskeys in today's challenge are the Deanston 10-year-old Bordeaux cask finish, the Longmorn 16, the Glenfarclas 15, and finally the Loch Lomond 12. All of these whiskies are very similar in their alcohol strength, being in the range of 46 to 48% ABV to keep it fairly even. And we decided to stay away from peated whiskies or heavily smoked whiskies that were too obvious to pick. Let me pour a dram of each of these whiskies now, and then I'm going to share with you Sertug's notes, and then I'm going to start and see if I can pair them together. Deanston in the red glass. Longmorn in the green glass. Glenfarclas in the blue glass. And finally, Loch Lomond in the white glass. Okay. Let's get underway. Prior to recording the video, Sertug and I exchanged tasting notes with whiskies A, B, C, and D. So we have flavor profiles without knowing what whiskey is what flavor profile. Each of us obviously is picking up different notes, flavors, aromas, which makes this interesting and challenging. So whiskey A, on the nose we have floral, fruit salad, honey, stone fruits, vanilla, caramel, a little nutty, and hints of spice. On the palate, we have sweet, fresh, gummy bears, stone fruits, and oaky. And on the finish, we have long, lightly sweet, and a little spice. So let's nose these and see if I can determine which whiskey Sertug is talking about. There's a sweetness on the Loch Lomond. Interesting. The Glenfarclas has a little bit of a sulfur note, which is surprising. All right, the Longmorn. That has some of those notes. We're talking about the honey and stone fruit, vanillas and caramels. I can see that. Maybe the Longmorn 16. The Deanston. Interesting, a bit more waxy, and the sulfur, the rubber notes. I'm gonna start with the Longmorn because I'm leaning into this thinking it's whiskey A. Definitely the honey, definitely those fruity notes, touch of spice, vanillas, toffees. The finish is lingering, which makes me think I might be onto something here. The trick here is not getting too caught up in my familiarity with some of these spirits and focusing on which whiskey displays those notes that Sertug has given me. There's too much going on for it to be the Deanston. It could potentially be the Glenfarclas. And I don't think it's the Loch Lomond. I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to say Whiskey A. Sertug's tasting notes are... This may change, so bear with me. I'm thinking Whiskey A is potentially the Longmorn. On to the notes for Whiskey B. On the nose, we have sour, dusty, cardboard, spent matches, farmyardy, sulfur, and banana. Interesting, that's a good note that might help me detect it. On the palate, sulfur, earthen, honeyed milk, chocolate, and spent matches. And then on the finish, we have sulfur, burnt paper, spicy, and earthen. These are good notes, right? This is very cool. Okay, let me have a sip of water, clear my palate. I am getting minor elements of the sulfur from the sherry on the Glenfarclas, but I don't get the dusty in the cardboard, and I'm not really getting banana. I'm gonna try the nose on the Loch Lomond. This one's cool. It's very different. I'm a fan of Loch Lomond. It has more of a, almost like the farmyard notes, I think, leans me towards this. There is a sweetness underneath it all. And there's this little hint of sort of funkiness to it. Yeah, I don't think this is the Deanston. I think it's a choice between the Glenfarclas 15 in the blue glass and the Loch Lomond in the white glass, Loch Lomond 12. There's actually surprising similarities between these two, but the Loch Lomond is giving me more of that banana note. Let's try on the palate and see if this one's on the money. There's a sweetness coming through. The chocolate on the palate that Sertug is saying kind of throws me. I don't know if this is correct because I don't get so much chocolate. I do get the earthen notes, the honeyed milk piece, and the spent matches sulfur piece is there. I think that Whiskey B is the Loch Lomond 12, so I'm going to put that as Whiskey B. Notes for Whiskey C are rum-soaked raisins, boozy cake, ginger, red fruits, cinnamon, so really robust kind of aromas on this. The palate is spicy, sweet, gingerbread, dark chocolate, again the chocolate, so maybe Sertug's throwing this in to confuse me a little bit. Rum raisins. On the finish, ginger, cinnamon, oaky, marzipan, and spicy. Let's try on the nose between the Deanston and the Glenfarclas. Definitely more of the ginger and the spiciness, but I'm getting red fruits on both. I wonder if these are common things across these whiskies or Sertug is trying to make it difficult for me. Damn you, Sertug. Let me try on the palate and see what I get on the Glenfarclas 15. Oh, wow. Definitely spice driven, lots of ginger, raisins are there. I think that I'm going to go with the Glenfarclas 15 I believe is Whiskey C. So we're gonna go with that. Only the Deanston 10 Bordeaux finish left. So let's see if the tasting notes Sertug has given me match this whiskey. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go and reassess what I'm thinking. So fingers crossed. The notes that he has given me on this Whiskey D, on the nose, we have tannic, honey, licorice, molasses, peppery, and chocolate. So chocolate again. On the palate, we have red fruits, jammy, lactic, and sour. Interesting. The finish is waxy, sour, sweet, and some black pepper. So let's see what we get on the Deanston. This is the part that tricks me a little because I get more red fruit on the nose with this one. But I do get that molasses, and that licorice note is there. Or maybe I'm convincing myself that it's there. Let's try on the palate. Red fruits, jammy, lactic, and sour. Let's see. Definitely jammy. I can see the sour note. Yeah, absolutely. But then I also get that sort of gummies that he mentioned on one of the other whiskeys. The waxiness is there for me. Using that as a standout note, I think that is putting me in the right direction with this whiskey. I don't think I'm going to change them. I think I'm going to go with this. I'm going to say that Whiskey D is the Deanston. Look at that. So that's my call, Sertug. I hope that I've kind of got this right. Might have lost all my whiskey nosing and tasting credibility in one video, so fingers crossed I haven't. Sertug, you might have ruined my career on Whiskey Tube, so let's see what happens. So this is my results. I'm gonna say Whiskey A in the green glass is the Longmorn 16. Whiskey B in the white Glencairn, I'm gonna say is the Loch Lomond 12. Whiskey C in my blue Glencairn, I believe is the Glenfarclas 15, which leaves Whiskey D in my red Glencairn glass as the Deanston 10 Bordeaux finish. Let's see how I did.
So Wade, my brother, I hope this was as fun to you as it was for me. This is my list. So my Whiskey A was the Longmorn 16. My Whiskey B was Loch Lomond 12. My Whiskey C was Glenfarclas 15. And the last one was the Deanston 10 Bordeaux. I hope you nailed all, but if you didn't, no worries. I'm not so confident about mine either. So let's see. But tell me, how did you do?
Man, you have no idea how relieved I am that it panned out this way. Sertug, they were some fantastic tasting notes, so thank you, mate. Definitely made it a little bit easier for me. Hope I didn't steer you too far off course with our notes being very different. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. Put it in the comments underneath this video, and let me know if you want to see a round 2. All right, guys, thank you for being here. Check you later.